How to find a game where your odds are in your favor. Learning to play a game where the odds are in your favor is a crucial for maintaining motivation and feeling successful. In theory, you can enjoy almost anything. In practice, you are more likely to enjoy the things that come easily to you. People who are talented in particular area tend to be more competent at the task and are then praised for doing a good job. They stay energized because they are making progress where others have failed, and because they get rewarded with the better pay and the bigger opportunities, which not only makes them happier but also propels them to produce even higher quality work. It's a virtuous cycle. Pick the right habit and progress is easy. Pick the wrong habit and life is a struggle. Hmm. Okay, when a habit is easy, when you are more likely to be successful. When you're successful, you're more likely to feel satisfied. However, there is another level to consider. In the long run, if you continue to advance and improve, any area can become challenging. At some point, you need to make sure you are playing the right game for your skill set. How do you figure that out? The most common approach is trial and error. Of course, there's a problem with this strategy. Life is short. You don't have time to try every career, date every eligible bachelor, or play every musical instrument. Thankfully, there is an effective way to manage this in a conundrum, and it is known as an explore or exploited trade-off. In the beginning of new activity, there should be a period of exploration. In relationships, it's called dating. In college, it's called an liberal arts. In business, it's called ability testing. The goal is to try out many possibilities, research a broad range of ideas, and cast a wide net. After this initial period of exploration, shift your focus to best the solution you've found, but keep experimenting occasionally. The proper balance depends on whether you are winning or losing. If you are currently winning, you explore it, explore it. If you are currently losing, you continue to explore. In the long run, it is probably the most effective work on strategy that seems to deliver the best results about 80 to 90% of the time, and keep exploring with the remaining 10 to 20%. Oh. Google famously asked employees to spend 80% of the work week on their official job and 20% of projects of their choice, which has led to the creation of a blockbuster products like AdWords and Gmail. Hmm. What feels like a fun to me, but work to others. Hmm. This is reading books and exercising, right? Yeah. The mark of whether you're made for a task is not whether you love it, but whether you can handle the pain of the task easier than most people. When you're enjoying yourself while others people are complaining, the work that hurts you less than it hurts others is what you're made to do. What makes me lose track of time? Flow is mental state. You enter your so focused on a task at hand that the rest of the world fades away. Oh, this blend of happiness and a peak performance is what athletes and performers experience when they're in the zone. It is nearly impossible to experience a flow state and not find the task satisfying at least in some degree. What comes naturally to me, for just a moment, ignore what you have been taught. Ignore what society has told you. Ignore what others expect of you. Look inside yourself and ask, what feels natural to me? When I felt alive, when I felt like the real me, no internal judgments or people pleasing, no second guessing or self criticism, just the feelings of engagement and enjoyment. Whenever you feel authentic and genuine, you're headed in the right direction. To be honest, some of this process is just stuck. Hmm, We all have a limited time on this planet, and the truly great among us are the ones who not only work hard, but also have the good fortune to expose the opportunities that favor us. Everyone has at least a few areas in which they could be in the top 25% with some effort. In my case, I can draw better than most people, but I handily I'm okay, but I am hardly an artist. And I'm not any funnier than average stand-up comedian who never makes it big. But I'm funnier than most people. The magic is that few people can draw well and the right jokes. It's the combination of two that makes it what I do so rare. And when you add in my business background, suddenly I had a thought that few cartoonists and could hope to understand without living it. When you can't win by being better, you can win by being different. By combining your skills, you reduce the level of competition, which makes it easier to stand out. You can shortcut the need for the genetic advantage or for years of practice by rewriting the rules. A good player works so hard to win the game everyone else is playing. A great player creates a new game that favors their strengths and avoids their weaknesses. It was also easier to avoid the trap of comparing myself to everyone else. After all, nobody else was taking the same combination of classes, so who could say if they were better or worse? Specialization is a powerful way to overcome the extent of bad genetics. The more you master a specific skill, the harder it becomes for others to compete with you. Many bodybuilders are stronger than the average arm wrestler, but even a massive bodybuilder may lose in arm wrestling because the arm wrestling champ has very specific strengths. Even if you are not the most naturally gifted, you can often win by being the best in a narrow category. Boiling water will soften a potato, but harden an egg. Uh, you can control whether you're a potato or an egg, but you can decide to play a game whether it's better to be hard or soft. If you can find a more favorable environment, you can transform the situation from the one where the odds are against you to one where they are in favor. Origins do not eliminate the need for the hard work. They clarify it. They tell us what to work hard on. Once we realize our strengths, we know where to spend our time and energy. We know which types of opportunities to look for and which types of challenges to avoid. The better we understand our nature, the better our strategy can be. Biological differences matter. Even so, it's more productive to focus on whether you're fulfilling your own potential than comparing yourself to someone else. The fact that you have a natural limit in a specific ability has nothing to do with whether you are reaching the ceiling of your capabilities. People get so caught up in the fact that they have a limit that they rarely exert the effort required to close to them. Furthermore, genes can make you successful if you're not doing the work. Yes, it's possible that the ripped trainer at the gym has better genes, but if you haven't put in the same reps, it's impossible to say if you haven't dealt in a better or worse in genetic end. Until you work as hard as those you admire, don't explain away their success is luck. In summary, one of the best ways to ensure your habits remain satisfying over a long term is to pick behaviors that align with your personality and skills. Personality and skills. Work hard on the things that come easy. The secret to maximizing your odds of success is to choose the right field of competition. Pick the right habit and progress is easy. Pick the wrong habit and life is a struggle. Genes cannot be easily changed, which means they provide a powerful advantage in favorable circumstances and a serious disadvantage in unfavorable circumstances. Habits are easier when they align with your natural abilities. Choose the habits that best suit you. Play a game that favors your strengths. If you can find a game that favors you, create one. Genes do not eliminate the need to hard work. They clarify it. They tell us what to work hard on. Hmm. He spent another decade experimenting, adjusting, and practicing. Martin's story offers a fascinating perspective on what it takes to stick with a habit for a long run. 10 years spent learning, 4 years spent refining, and the 4 years is wild success. Why is it that some people, like Martin, stick with their habits, whether practicing jokes and drawing cartoons, or playing guitar? Why most of the struggle stay motivated? How do we design habits that pull us in rather than ones that fade away? Scientists have been studying this question for many years. While there is still much to learn, one of the most consistent findings is that the way we maintain motivation and achieve peak levels of desire is to work on tasks of just manageable difficulty. The human brain loves a challenge, but only if it is within an optimal zone of the difficulty. If you love tennis and try to play a serious match against a 4-year-old, you will quickly become bored. It's too easy. You will win every point. In contrast, if you play a professional tennis player like Roger Federer or Serena Williams, you will quickly lose motivation because the match is too difficult. Now consider playing tennis against someone who is your equal. As the game progresses, you win a few points and you lose a few. You have a good chance of winning, but only if you really try. You focus on arrows. Distractions fade away, and you find yourself fully invested in the task at hand. This is a challenge of just manageable difficulty, and it is a prime example of the Goldilocks rule. The Goldilocks rule states that humans experience a peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities. Not too hard, not too easy, just right. Martin's comedy career is an excellent example of the Goldilocks rule in practice. Each year, he expanded his comedy routine, but only by a minute or two. He was always adding new material, but he also kept a few jokes in it that are guaranteed to get laughs. There were just enough victories to keep him motivated and just enough mistakes in it to keep him working hard. When you're starting a new habit, it's important to keep the behavior as easy as possible so you can stick with it even when conditions aren't perfect. This is an idea we cover in detail while discussing the law of behavior change. Once a habit has been established, however, it's important to continue to advance in small ways. These are little improvements and new challenges and keep you engaged. And if you hit Goldilocks zone as right, you can achieve a flow state. A flow state is experience of being in the zone and fully immersed in an activity. Scientists have tried to quantify this feeling. They found that to achieve a state of flow, a test must be roughly 4% beyond your current ability. In real life, it's typically not feasible to quantify the difficulty of an action in this way, but the core idea of the Goldilocks rule remains. Working on challenges and just manageable difficulty. Something on the perimeter of your ability seems crucial for maintaining motivation. Improvement requires an delicate balance. You need to regulate accessible challenges and push you to an edge, while continuing to make enough progress to stay motivated. Behaviors need to remain novel in order for them to stay attractive and satisfying. Without the variety, we get bored, and a boredom is perhaps the greatest villain on the constant self-improvement. The process of improvement. What do the really successful people do that most don't? He mentioned the factors he might expect: genetics, luck, talent. But then he said something I wasn't expecting. At some point, it comes down to who can handle the burden of training every day, doing the same lifts and over and over. His answer surprised me because his different way of thinking about work ethic. You hear people say things like, it just comes down to passion, or you have to really want it. As a result, many of us get depressed when we lose focus and motivation because we think that successful people have some bottomless, bottomless reserve of passion. But this culture was saying that really successful people feel the same lack of motivation as everyone else. The difference is that they still find a way to show up despite any feelings of boredom. Mastery requires any practice, but the more you practice in something, the more boring and the routine it becomes. Once the beginner gains have been made and we learn what to expect, our interests start to fade. Sometimes it happens even faster than that. All you have to do is hit the gym a few days in a row or publishing a couple of blog posts in a time and letting one day so it doesn't feel like much. Things are going well. It's just rationalizing and taking a day off because you're in a good place. The greatest threat to success is not failure, but boredom. We get bored with the habits because they stop delighting us. the outcome becomes unexpected. And as our habits become ordinary, we start trailing our progress and seeing novelty. Perhaps this is why we get caught up in a never-ending cycle, jumping from one workout to the next, one diet to the next, one business idea to the next. As soon as experiencing the slightest dip in motivation, we begin seeking a new strategy, even if the odds one wasn't still working. Man desire novelty to such an extent that those who are doing well wish for the change as much as those who are doing badly. Perhaps this is why many of the most habit-forming products are those that provide a continuous form of novelty. In psychology, this is known as a variable reward. Slot machines are the most common real-world example. A gambler hits the jackpot every now and then, but not at any predictable interval. The pace of a reward varies. The variance leads to the greatest spike of dopamine, enhances in memory recall, and accelerates in habit formation. Because they reduce boredom, the sweet spot of desire occurs at a 50-50 split between success and failure. Half of the time you get to what you want, half of the time you don't. You need just enough. We need to experience any satisfaction and just enough of wanting to experience any desire. This is one of the benefits of following the Goldilocks rule. If you are already interested in a habit, working on challenges of just and manage of difficulty isn't a good way to keep things interesting. Variable rewards or not, no habit will stay interesting forever. At some time, everyone faced the same challenge on the journey of the self-improvement. You have to fall in love with boredom. We all have goals that we would like to achieve and the dreams that we would like to fulfill. But it doesn't matter what you are trying to become better at. If you only do the work when it's convenient and exciting, then you will never be consistent enough to achieve remarkable results. I can guarantee that if you manage to start up a habit and keep stick to it, there will be days when you feel like quitting. When you start a business, there will be days when you don't feel like showing up. When you're at the gym, there will be sets that you don't feel like finishing. When it's time to write, there will be days that you don't feel like typing. But stepping up when it's annoying or painful or draining to do so, that's what makes the difference between a professional and immature amateur. Oh, professionals stick to the schedule. Amateurs let life get in the way. Ah, professionals know what is important to them and work toward it with a purpose. Amateurs get pulled off course by the urgencies of life. David King, an author and a meditation teacher, encourages his students to well-being fair weather meditators. Similarly, you don't want to be a fair weather athlete or a fair weather writer or fair weather anything. When a habit is truly important to you, you have to be willing to stick to it in any mood. Professionals take action even when the mood isn't right. Oh, they might not enjoy it, but they find a way to put the reps in. There have been a lot of sets that haven't felt like a finishing, but have never regretted doing the workout. There had been a lot of articles I haven't felt like writing, but I never regretted publishing a schedule. There have been a lot of days I felt like relaxing, but I've never regretted showing up and working on something that is important to me. The only way to become excellent is to be endlessly fascinated by doing the same thing over and over. You have to fall in love with the boredom. The golden slows states that humans experience an peak motivation when working on a task that are right on the edge of their current abilities. The greatest threat to success is not failure, but boredom. As a habits become routine, they become less interesting and the less satisfying. We get bored. Anyone can work hard when they feel motivated. It's the ability to keep going when the work isn't exciting that makes the difference. Professionals stick to the schedule. Amateurs let life get in the way. Okay.